Mario, the Italian plumber, is arguably the most famous video game character since the dawn of gaming in the early 70s. He's jumped a path through hundreds of infamously stylized worlds, from high in the sky to deep in the sea and underground. This tiny, pixelated man spends the bulk of his life rescuing hapless princesses, but we'll cover that topic later. Perhaps the most curious thing about Mario is how ubiquitous he is. And yet, who the hell is he? Is there any depth to his personality and cartoonish surroundings? Mario and his universe have been shrouded in mystery from the very beginning. Not to make some deep artistic statement, but because he was born from the days when video game storytelling was limited by the infancy of the medium and its primitive technology. You can spot these gameplay-centered, sparsely detailed universes in Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and even Bomberman, which all came from the very same era. That's not to say there's nothing below this mustached beast's surface, though. There are over 250 titles featuring Mario, including a horrible movie, some bizarre, rad TV shows, and of course, the iconic video games. Surely Mario's personality was created and built even a little across his over 2-decade history, which began back in 1981. The unexpected origin of Mario is an arcade game called Donkey Kong, which features Mario as the mean, oppressive trainer of DK. However, the aptly named Italian plumber hadn't even gotten his name yet and is known simply as Jumpman. In the game, Donkey Kong breaks free from his captor's clutches and gets revenge on the red overalls wearing Baron by stealing his girlfriend, who is pretty bangin'. Damn, look at those pixels. You go, Jumpman, you go. You then play as Jumpman to get back his damsel in distress by hopping over Donkey Kong's endless stream of barrels. But this bad guy portrayal of Jumpman lasts only for one more game, which came to us in 1982 via arcades everywhere. It's called Donkey Kong Jr., and this time Jumpman has been relabeled as Mario, the name we know and love. But his image isn't as such, for just like the original, Donkey Kong Jr. features the famous plumber as DK's evil antagonist rather than the good-willed protagonist we're used to. This time, the overall rocking red-capped crusader has kidnapped Donkey Kong and locked him in a cage. When that poor monkey's son, DK Jr., comes to the rescue. In terms of plot and character development, there isn't much going on in either of Mario's first two appearances. Just a generic bad guy and a generic good guy going head-to-head like any other story since the beginning of time. What caught the attention of people all over the world was nothing short of gameplay. You see, when any new technology is born, its potential has yet to be realized or even dreamed of. Ask yourself this question: how many people thought this could ever turn into this? This isn't to say there's no storytelling in early video games. In fact, the titles I've just mentioned have simple plots and character personalities, but these likely exist to offer an explanation for why the hell a tiny man is jumping over barrels being thrown by a monkey. These straightforward early plots exist more to give context rather than portray a message and tell a story. In many ways, popular gaming titles of today are interactive movies that the player becomes immersed in, while early video games were seen as just that, games. So does Mario break free from the gameplay-centered universe he was born into? He's got more than 20 years of history left, and the next step on his journey comes at us with yet another arcade title in 1983, called Mario Bros. This adventure was the first big step towards the Mario we know today. It features Mario alongside his famous brother Luigi as a team of plumbers who patrol the sewers of New York, protecting the Big Apple from mysterious creatures that can only be killed by being flipped on their backs and headbutted from below. Various elements that exist today are introduced in Mario Bros, including POW blocks, coin collecting, and deadly fireballs. This is the first instance of Mario as his benevolent, man of few words self. But the next release builds even further into the modern Mario universe. And so enters another key theme of the Italian-American hippity-hoppening stash-tastic red-rocking plumber. He traverses the 8 worlds of the Mushroom Kingdom to rescue Princess Toadstool school in Super Mario Bros. On none other than the NES. This is the first Mario game playable in your own damn house, making Mario quite literally a household name. And of course, with his transition from the arcade medium also came the overarching, unforgettably important theme of Mario being the single greatest white knight to ever live. Saving a princess once or twice? No problem. You gotta do what you gotta do. But it's like these bitches aren't even trying. Oh, save me, Mario! I'm a helpless damsel in distress! Nah, fuck that. There's fireballs, lava pits, and whatever the hell this stupid thing is between me and your lazy ass. Isn't there pepper spray or bear mace in the Mushroom Kingdom? Go out and buy that shit. But maybe I'm being too hard on this abnormally athletic, albeit chubby plumber. It's not like he seems to care either way when he actually does save a princess at the end of so many games. He just kind of stands there, blankly staring at nothing. This would imply there isn't a whole lot going on in his head. Ulterior motives be damned. Good for you, buddy. Doing the right thing cause it's what's gotta be done. However, Mario's constant rescuing of princesses and his lack of caring about the exhausting, dangerous adventures it entails has little to do with an unassuming nature. Take a look at every other character in this universe. There's no backstory or deeper reason for why anybody does what they do. For instance, Bowser just seems to capture Peach because he's evil. But why is he evil? There's no Bowser biography where his rough childhood pushes him to seek revenge on the world, or any creepy stories about this King Koopa exhibiting sociopathic behaviors from a young age. Bowser is evil because there needs to be a bad guy, and Mario is good because there needs to be a good guy. These generic black hat versus white hat plots are enough to keep the series going and allow Nintendo to continue focusing on gameplay rather than writing complex character narratives. And there's not a thing wrong with that. We've covered a good amount of the classic Mario titles. His own simplicity as well as the world around him should be obvious. But with advancing technology and fans demanding original content, some interesting additions to the Mario universe are about to unfold. With each new paradigm shift, be it from 2D to 3D graphics or from video games to motion pictures, the Italian-American plumber's character evolves in ways which range from subtle to controversial. The year is 1989 and Nintendo decided it needed to jump on the hip, fresh, and hopefully ironic MC Hammer-esque kids show train. And what did they come up with? About what you'd expect, I guess.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
Actually, I didn't expect that. Maybe I just took it out of context. What about... Okay, I need to stop doing that. But what does the Super Mario Bros. Show and its equally bizarre cousins add to the inner machinations of Mario's mind and his universe as a whole? Don't forget, these series had only the simplistic, gameplay-centered titles to build plots and character traits off of. The results of this blank foundation are pretty obvious across every non-video game release of the Mario franchise. While every live-action or animated version of Mario features him as a fearless, sometimes corny protagonist, he and his Mushroom Kingdom comrades lack any kind of deeper emotions. Take, for instance, the first episode of the Super Mario Bros. Show. We're introduced to several other main characters, including Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Bowser. Luigi is the cowardly but comical sidekick. Peach is the partially helpful but stereotypical helpless princess. Toad's Brooklyn accent is as noticeable as his short man's complex, and Bowser is like any other cartoon villain. Again, it's essentially a kid's show. Fun to watch, but not much to sink your philosophical teeth into. Here's two Mario-themed tales that are something. They're definitely something. In fact, this Mario anime is actually a retelling of famous fairy tales, some being Japanese like one called Momotaro, and the others being more Western like Snow White. The characters in the animes all have personalities and actions determined entirely by the fairy tales, which in some cases result with Bowser wearing lipstick and doing what can only be described as science. This is to say anything from the TV shows and video games don't really apply. For example, in In the games, Toad is neutral. In the Super Mario Bros. Show, he's angry as hell. And in the anime, his single self is spread to 7 upbeat, adorable Toads. While there has always been a Toad species, his singular character is gone here. And Bowser wants to be the fairest of them all. You're beautiful, King Koopa. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Then there's the movie. Actually, let's not talk about the movie. Why, Dennis Hopper? Why? Okay, Dennis. I'll do it for you. The New York Times complains it doesn't have that jaunty hop and zap spirit of the Nintendo game. And you know exactly what that means. The Super Mario Bros. Movie drunkenly stumbled into theaters May 28th, 1993, with Mario and Luigi taking the reins in a fucking weird adventure where Dennis Hopper is Bowser, the powerful leader of a reptilian society who turns innocent people into dinosaurs with tiny heads. Where did this dino society come from?
But what if the dinosaurs weren't all destroyed? What if the impact of that meteorite created a parallel dimension where the dinosaurs continue to thrive and evolve into intelligent, vicious, aggressive beings? Just like us. And hey, what if they found a way back?
Okay, let's get through this movie as soon as possible. Can we pry anything out of this portrayal of Mario? Is there anything relevant that could stick and make you see a mind-blowing connection with the Mario universe you've never made before? Well, the Italian plumber is middle-aged, bald, and not Italian. But he does fulfill his fearless, generic protagonist role like games and shows past. So it has one coherent idea, which is good. However, besides that, the Mario Bros. Cross a dimensional portal to the dystopian reptilian society, blazing a path to King Koopa's whereabouts to halt him. Halt him from merging his shitty dinosaur universe with our considerably less shitty human universe, by means of this magical meteorite. I won't give away the ending in case you feel compelled to watch this cinematic masterpiece, and really, I've said far more than I ever wanted to about this movie. Let's move on to something less, we'll say dramatic. Yeah, dramatic. So what did we learn from these motion picture releases of Mario? We certainly discovered that they're really, really weird, and the reason for this likely stems from the Mario universe as a whole, lacking any character substance. With that in mind, let's return to a medium that works for Mario. The year is 1996. The Nintendo 64 is fresh off the shelves, boasting its flagship release, Super Mario 64. This game had it all, marking the beginning of an era with its open-world, three-dimensional universe. At the start, Mario is invited to Peach's castle for cake, but upon arrival finds it overrun by Bowser and his minions, with Peach artistically trapped in a stained glass window. Super Mario 64 offers the player far more freedom in Mario's movements. He can jump, crouch, kick, wall jump, punch, and even backflip. This seamless transition from 2D side-scroller to 3D platformer was the best-selling N64 game of all time. As for Mario himself, he's slightly more detailed now in terms of visuals and body language, but the plot of the game stays true to its predecessors, with its simplistic narratives I've just mentioned. What happens after Mario heroically collects 120 stars, bashing and stomping the Koopa invasion, putting his life and limb at risk to save Peach? Well, she bakes him that cake she promised, and that's about it. And what about the other 3D Mario games? Super Mario Sunshine is an interesting one, yet another critically acclaimed masterpiece, this time for the GameCube in 2002. Mario, Peach, and an elderly Toad are going on vacation to Isle Delfino, but a dark form of Mario is lurking on the island, spreading dirt and grime while being sure Mario gets framed for these mischievous doings. The plot itself is slightly deeper than its predecessors, having Mario deal with false accusations and Peach being the only one who knows what's going on. However, Nintendo stays true to its franchise, keeping Mario as a mostly empty character with little emotional depth. He parades around, shooting water from his sweet back-mounted cannon, not at all bothered that these things are everywhere. There are also the Super Mario Galaxy and the new Super Mario Bros. Games, which all in all have the same game-focused feel. At the end of the day, this Italian plumber was born from a time when gameplay ruled. That defined the success of a title far more than any plot could, due to technological limitations and, of course, a worldwide ignorance of what video games were capable of. But this focus on fun versus plot has propelled Mario into fame which cannot be rivaled by any other game character. Every Mario title brought to the world a universe with generic characters. From the early side-scrolling arcade games to the 3D platformers of modern times, the occupants of the Mushroom Kingdom have had enough personality to give gameplay a context, but not enough to immerse the player in a sort of interactive movie that newly born game franchises now flaunt. But the endless amount of awesome gameplay this franchise has brought us is undeniable, and the cumulative, hours-consuming acid trip that is the motion pictures proves the simplicity of the Mario universe is not suitable for storytelling. The shows and movie perhaps are entertaining in their own strange right. However, these mediums require a level of depth which Nintendo's games could not provide. Mario, he's a hollow character filled with awesome gameplay dynamics rather than deeper emotional struggles, because that's the era he was born into. This tiny plumber is incredible to play as, but on the inside, he's boring as fuck, and that's the story you never knew. Don't miss. Coming soon.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
We're Tyler and Kevin, two editors on the Treesicle Team. Check us out in our brand new podcast by clicking us, or watch Ezio Auditore, the story you never knew, below.
Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos to come.
Nighty nighty. Ah, spaghetti. Ah, ravioli. Ah, mamma mia.